Hi, my name is Andy Brewer and I did my presentation about the effects of stress on college students. I'm interested in this topic because I thought it would be interesting to learn the reasons people get stressed and what causes the most stress. My topic addresses the objectives emotion and motivation. Stress can cause depression if individuals see themselves and the world around them in a negative way. Stressful events may be a trigger for activation of a depression schema, which can cause someone to perceive any event in a negative light. A study was done using essays to look at word choice of college students. Depressed and formerly depressed participants used negative words and the word I much more often than never depressed participants throughout their essays. Another study was done to see the thinking behind depression and vulnerabilities to depression. The study included 29 women and 2 men currently depressed, 20 women and 6 men formerly depressed, and 47 women and 20 men who were never depressed. The Beck Depression Inventory, or BDI, was used to measure levels of depression in participants. Measurements are scored using self-reporting inventory of their symptoms of depression. Depressed individuals tended to use more negative emotion words and fewer positive emotion words. Another use for this information can be to find out if a friend or family member is depressed based on the words they speak. Researchers wanted to understand how work, school, and life stress affect the lives of adult students. A study was done to test how different ways of coping with stress would impact a person's general well-being and life satisfaction. When a person has a demand or conflict with school, work, or life, their brain decides whether the event is good or bad. If a demand is seen as having a good outcome, it is viewed as a challenge to overcome. If a demand can have a bad outcome, it is viewed as harmful or threatening to the person. In this study, 159 students ages 20 to 56 were asked questions about stressors. The questions entailed how much each person agreed with the statements such as having long work hours, unclear expectations in classes, and poor relationships with friends and family. Each person would rate their level of agreement from 1 to 5, with 1 being never and 5 being always. Coping was measured with a rating 1 to 4, and questions were asked about if students had planned to take action and deal with their stress, or if they let their feelings out to others. Finally, results of the coping methods were measured by general life satisfaction and mental well-being of the participants. General life satisfaction was measured 1 to 7, and questions were about whether they saw their life as close to ideal or if the conditions of their life were excellent. General well-being was measured 0 to 3, and questions were about whether participants have felt constantly under strain or not. Work stressors were seen to be the greatest source of stress for adult students, while school stressors seem to have less of an impact on life satisfaction and general well-being. This may be because students have less control over their work situation. Ensuring that work and school do not interfere with each other may be a good way to take some stress away from students. Stressors, appraisals, and coping are all good ways to help deal with stress and have some control over its effects on their well-being. Here's a multiple choice quiz as a final reminder of something that we learned. What part of people's lives causes the most stress? Work, school, home, or life? Feel free to pause the video for a second or two. The answer is A. Work is something that students do not have control over, which creates more stress for them when they can't get everything done. I hope you learned from my presentation, and here's a list of the sources I used, which I got from Google Scholar.